Hi guys! Welcome back to the next series in this channel. Today we're gonna start with something new, but before we do that, did you check yesterday's video? Well, not yesterday's, 2 days ago, we announced a new rigging course. It's coming out very soon. It might be out now, I'm not sure, because it takes a little while for the sites to upload everything and make sure that it's ready for it's gonna be released very soon. So if you're not seeing this on Monday, which is when we're uploading it, don't worry, just check out our links down here in the comments. We might have some premium courses there for you that you're gonna like. So, today we're starting with a very cool thing. And let me show you. I just found, while I was doing, of course, research for this course, we're gonna do a basic video game asset. Now, I did mention that we were gonna do like a stylized cartoon thing. We might not go completely stylized, but it's gonna be a little bit cartoonish because it's not something that could be done in the real world. And I want to do this one right here. Like this pillar right here looks amazing. It looks very clean, very nice, and I think we can learn a lot from it. Now, pillars are one of those things that no matter what kind of game you're going to be developing, you're always going to need pillars. So it's just a very basic thing to do. We're going to learn some very nice techniques, and it's going to be fun. Now, I am going to mention, spoiler alert, this is going to be a beginner level course, okay? Or not course, of course. The courses are down there. No, this is going to be a beginner level series. So if you're still new to either Maya, ZBrush, Substance Painter, and I want to bring this into Unreal 5. If you're new to any of those softwares, do not worry. Follow me. You're going to be just fine. You, of course, need to know a little bit of the basics, just like basic navigation and stuff, but most of the tools that we're going to be using are going to be very easy. So, shout out to Rady Perigo, who did this, concept artist, who is a concept artist at PlayStation, for doing this amazing props right here. I checked his stuff. It's pretty cool, to be honest. He has a lot of like steampunk stuff and very nice pieces. So I really like this one right here. You can actually practice with these three things. Like if you are able to nail them exactly like the way he has them, you're gonna be able to show people that you know how to copy a concept and finalize it very nicely. So I'm gonna save this image, and you already know where we save this. We're gonna go into our source images in our Maya file, where we have our Nexttut live Maya file. I'm just gonna save this, and let me open Maya real quick. There we go. So I'm gonna see. That's very cool. I'm a huge fan of Magic the Gathering. This is a Planeswalker from the game, Anissa. I haven't played in a while because it's very addictive. It's cool that there's a course there. Anyway, let's go to Maya right here. And the process that we're gonna be following is a very common process that we use in the entertainment industry. A lot of you guys have been asking to. For me to show you the low poly, high poly video game process that we normally do, the bakes and all that stuff. So we're going to be going through that. However, make sure to check all of our other series. We did the Aku mask from Crash Bandicoot a couple of weeks ago. And we did, what else did we did? We did the grenade. That was the first project, right? The grenade. So all of those projects have very valuable information. They're now nicely organized on a playlist. So if you check our playlist on the channel, you're going to see them. And yeah, let's go. So I'm going to set the project real quick. Make sure that we're working on our Nexttut live. By the way, I'm starting a new project for you guys. New premium course. Not going to spoil what yet, but starting on it. So let's go front view. So spacebar, click on Maya, front view. Very quickly, wait. One quick thing. The view cube is back. So if you go here into display, heads up display, and you go into view cube right here, you can very quickly go into the different like sections, which is very cool. So like if you're in perspective, you hit front view, you can go there. And I'm not sure if we can jump onto the orthographic view directly from here. No, we have all of these views, which are very cool. So I'm just gonna go to the front view here. I am gonna click this little icon, which is the image plane shortcut. Select the one that we just got from our friend Rady Perigo. Shoutouts to him for creating this amazing concept. And let's just scale this. Now, he very kindly for us created a little silhouette here of a person that tells us how big these pillars are. And that's one thing that I think I've mentioned before, but it's going to be very important now that we're going to be jumping into Unreal 5 at the end to get this thing in. We definitely need to make sure that everything is set up to the proper scale. The scale of an object is super important. So I'm going to create a cube right here. Change the scale of this cube to 180 on Y, 50 and 50 on X and Z. And this is roughly the volume that I use whenever I need to have a human like scale. I'm just going to move the pivot point down and snap this guy with X to the bottom of the ground. So now if I go into the perspective view, you're gonna see that the grid is super small there, but this is usually what the human measures. Now, a lot of people get scared when the grid is like super small. They think that things are gonna like fall off or something. I don't know why that happens. Let me change this to gray. Alt B is the shortcut to change the gradient here. So I don't know why people get scared, but if you want to change the grid so that it matches a little bit closer to what you have in Unreal, for instance, you can go into display, grid, option box, and change this to 100, 10, and 1. And if you hit apply, now each grid represents I think it's 10 centimeters. So we do 10 right here. Yeah. So each little square there is 10 centimeters. And if you have 100 units, that's a full, like a cubic meter. This is a cubic meter right here. So now that I have this box, I can go into my front view, and I should be able to see my image plane. Where is my image plane? Did I turn off the, oh yeah, front view. So show image plane, there we go. And I'm just gonna scale this so that my little human silhouette that I have here matches as closely as possible this cube that I have right there. It's a little bit bigger. So that's about it. I mean, that's close enough. And now I can just position this thing right here. Now, some of you might be saying, hey, why not do the thing that we did with the, what was it? Oh, with the lamp, where we created a camera to match this camera to the ground. We can do that. So it's actually very easy. I'm just gonna save this in my mind, which is gonna, let's say 58 is gonna be the scale. So I'm just gonna delete this guy. Go into perspective view now. Let's hide this, Control H. I'm gonna say image plane. And we're gonna grab the same image right here. Where is it? Right here. And I need to push this, so I'm gonna go into my camera options. And on the options, I'm gonna go into the image plane. And there's an option called depth. I'm gonna add a 0, or maybe 2 zeros. There we go, so now the grid is right there. We're gonna go to the camera, and we can go to object display. Or actually, you know what? I made a mistake here. I should create a new camera. So rendering, camera, panels, look to selected. Now we have a new camera. Now on this camera is where we're gonna add the image plane. Where is it? There we go. So now we go into depth. Let's push this back. Let's do 2 zeros. There we go. Because since this is a big image or a big canvas, we're probably gonna have like bigger numbers here. I'm gonna go to the camera and remember the overscan option that we have here on display options. So I'm gonna say like 1.2 probably, so that we can see a little bit of the border. It's easier to manage. So now I know that this thing right here, or the scale of the image is working fine, because this is the little human that we have right there. So it's gonna be a little bit easier to make sure that everything fits together. And I'm just gonna create a cube, like a very basic cube. The one thing I'm gonna do with the cubes, I'm gonna move the pivot point with D and V to the base, and then with X, I'm gonna snap it to the ground. And I'm gonna try to match the perspective. I'm gonna use the front part of the cube right here. Try to match the perspective here. So that's roughly the perspective. So I know, of course, this is gonna be bigger. Just match the perspective as close as possible. There we go. Just grab this whole thing. Oh, vertex. Just move it up. I can scale it down. And the main reason why I want this thing, I just want to make sure that the size is as properly, or as proper as it could. And you can see there that, like again, if we take a look at the image, that's a human size. So I would say 2, 3. It's like 4 human sizes, a little bit more than 4 human sizes. So I'm gonna grab my initial cube. I'm gonna snap it to the top 4 times. And that's roughly how tall my pillar should be. So let's go to the front view. There we go. Now let's go to our shot cam. Panels, look to selected. And we need to just like move this out until we find the proper size. I'm mainly concerned about the proper size on the base of the cube. So right about there. Oh, actually no, that's not gonna it's not gonna make it. Should be like right about there. And now with the R key, I can just like scale the base up. So I know that that's roughly gonna be the base, and that's gonna roughly be the height. Sorry, got a sneeze attack over there. So now that we have the proper height and everything, I'm gonna select my camera here. I'm gonna go into the options here, or not the options, not this ones, the transform options of the camera. Where is it? Can you get in the channel box? Ah, that's very weird. Let's select this. There we go. So grab all of this, guys, and just lock selected. And I'm gonna grab that guy, panels, look selected, panels, tier off copy. Just to have another copy that we can reference to make sure that the proportions and everything is as close as possible. So we're gonna have this little window over here. And we're gonna be modeling everything on the basic view here, like on the front view. So I'm gonna duplicate this object here. We don't need the humans anymore. That's very weird. I think I missed the proportions here. Okay, I mean, this is not the end of the day. The most important thing is the proportions. Later on, if we need to change the scale, we can scale it. As long as the proportions are right, we're gonna be fine. So let's delete this, guys, for now. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm gonna call this size ref, just so that I have my size reference ready. And I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna turn this off. That one, I'm just gonna say remove selected objects. Now we should have 2 copies. And then this one, I'm just gonna call it base mesh, because the first thing I'm gonna start with. So I'm gonna start with the basic shapes of the whole thing. So I'm gonna delete this thing, leave only one face down here, which is the base of the cube, as we can see here. And again, if we take a look at the image here, it's a little bit of a step here, and then we have like an offset, and then the whole like pillar starts coming out, right? So I see this as a whole object. I do see a hole right there, so I'm not sure if this hole goes all the way down here. I think it would be very interesting to have that go all the way down here. So probably like from this point on, this is kind of like hollow. But yeah, let's see. So I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna extrude out. Let me turn off the grid here. I'm gonna extrude out, and I'm gonna move this up. So that's the first step right there. See that? We match the first step. Then I'm gonna grab this thing, Control E, and I'm gonna offset. I'm gonna offset quite strongly, right about there. I'm gonna Control E and push it up. There we go. We nailed the second step. Then there's another extrusion. We move it up roughly about there, and we move it there. Hopefully the resolution is good enough, but what I'm doing here is I'm actually looking at this thing right here, the image right here, and trying to mimic the proportions right here. I don't care about this back part right here right now, because I know that this is a square thing. So if I can nail the 2 like main ones right here, or this silhouette right here, later on I can scale it so that it matches. So I'm going for this like silhouette first. So I'm going to Control E, bring this up, and then Control E, bring this up again, and bring this in. That's roughly the how far it goes, and then it goes back out. So Control E, move it up, and go out. And then we do Control E again, W, all the way up to the little like cap there. And here's where I'm a little bit confused, because it seems to me that we're not only going like this, or actually we're just going like this, right? Like it doesn't seem like we're actually losing a lot of volume on the front. There is a little bit of loss of volume, of course, on the spike or on the point, like the final point. So I'm gonna go here. I'm just gonna push this in on one side, which is this one right here. So as you can see, we pretty much do something like this. So it's not a lot of volume loss here, but it is a little bit of, or quite a bit of volume loss on the inside like this. So it's not completely square, which I mean, it's fine. Let me just check that this is symmetrical on the other sides. Okay, we're good. So here, and then we're gonna extrude. We're gonna go up, and you can see we have like a triangle here. So we need to kind of continue with the same, of course, not that high. So roughly about there. And it's pretty much a tip, so I'm gonna go all the way to the like a tip. Yeah, that seems good, and it does seem to be going like really sharp like this. And there we go. We have the basic shape of the thing. Now you might be asking, why are you using the light mode? This is not light mode. This is actually the geometry that's reversed, which is bad. So I'm gonna go mesh display and hit reverse so that the polygons are now facing the proper side. Now here's what I was mentioning. As I was doing this, I was focusing on the main like corner on this side, and you can see that not all the other corners on the other sides are matching, and that's fine because I can just grab my pivot point, move it here to the base of the object, and then scale it where I need it to. So I can make it like a little bit longer. Actually, I'm gonna snap it to the other corner, which is this one. And we can just see how I'm going here, which this is, what this is doing is it's only scaling without modifying the proportions. So I can scale a little bit, and now we're matching the proper thing. Now, don't worry about this. Sometimes when concept artists build these things, they will, the perspectives might not match perfectly. However, one thing I am seeing, and I think this was intentional on Rady Perigo's part, it seems like this is, like if I'm seeing this from the side view, instead of having this sort of like straight thing and then the little triangle, it seems to me that's more like this. You know, because I can see a very straight line here and then this line going backwards. Which, again, not a big deal. Only thing I need to do is grab this top vertex right here and then push them to this direction right here. So now we're going to have this nice thing right here. This one, I'm actually going to push it forward as well. Probably going to push this one forward as well so that it's a complete triangle. And yeah, this looks very cool. So this is going to be my front view now, which is might be a little bit weird now. There's a couple of faces there that I'm curious about. Oh no, you know what that might be? What is it? Whoa, what's that? Oh no, it's gone now. So there we go. So yes, this thing is going to be asymmetrical on a couple of directions, but it's going to be symmetrical on this direction right here. Now, what direction that is? That right now is X, which I'm not a fan of it. So now that I know that the proportions are right, the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to center the pivot point, turn on the discrete rotate this thing around so that it's facing forward on the world, and I'm going to freeze the transformation. So now this is front C. Okay, so now we're out of this. We don't need the reference image right here. We're not going to match it here. We're going to be referencing it in ZBrush to get like all of the details and stuff. But we're pretty much done with the basic shape. So I'm just going to add a couple of extra details here. You can see here that we have the steps. I'm actually going to be adding the steps in ZBrush. It's going to be a lot easier. But I do want to add this sort of like middle line cross-section thing. So give me just 1 second. And the way we're gonna do that, as you can see, it does seem to be again like a whole thing up there, and then we have like the rest of the elements. So I really want this thing to be like an actual triangle, but not before I do what I'm about to do. I'm gonna use my cut tool and I'm gonna press Shift to insert this right here, to insert one line going straight through the middle. Then I'm gonna use Mesh Tools, Offset Edge Loop, and this offset edge loop will allow me to insert 2 edge loops right here, which should give me the thickness that I'm going for. It's probably a little bit thicker. So let me go back here. It's probably about there. Yeah, a little bit more. Like there. Now, you can see that there's 3 main points here. This little triangle right here, which is probably where the hollow thing starts, and then this triangle up here. Now, we know that this triangle up here is the base pretty much with the corners of the like area right here. And this one right here, we really don't have a nice line, but we can add it very quickly. Again, with the cut tool, I can just add one line right here. And I'm just going to try and find it, which it should be right around here. Now, I know that we're not matching the exact same thing, but it's close enough, so that should be good. Now I'm going to grab this vertex right here, this vertex right here. Sorry. And we want to create this sort of like triangular shape right there. I probably want to create it on the other side as well, even though we are not seeing it. So I'm going to grab both of them. That's just a graphic design thing, where when you have a pattern, you usually repeat it in a couple of other places. So I'm just going to make this thing a little bit wider. How wide is it? It's wide enough. So, well, it's not that wide. It's probably like this. I actually think this line right here, this edge, and this one might be a little bit too thick. So it's slightly smaller. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, that guy, that guy. We're going to get a mess over here. You're going to see why in just a second. This guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. Control E. And we're going to extrude in, which I do see a heavy proportion there. So I am going to go like quite a bit in. Like about there. Now you can see we get double faces here. Important that we fix them. So another thing we could do is we could extrude a couple of these areas as well. I don't think it's necessary. So let's push this in. Let me see the concept. Yeah, it's empty. So actually what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna insert an edge loop right about here. Now we grab this guys again. I'm actually not gonna grab this ones just yet. I'm just gonna grab this guys. Control E, push them in. And then I'm gonna delete these faces. Like this. And delete these faces. Oh, careful there. Deleted something that we shouldn't have. Oh. This guy. This guy. Ah, that's weird. That edge should not stay there, but it's staying. We can go into the edge mode. Grab that edge. Oh, that's very weird. There we go. Yeah, that's better. So now what I'm gonna do is just vertex. I'm gonna snap it right here, this one right here, and this one right there, and then grab this 3. Or actually no, because these guys have the proper position. So I'm actually gonna grab this one. I'm just gonna snap it on this side, and then this guy I'm gonna snap it down, and then this with X I'm gonna snap it over here. With with V. Sorry, I'm using the V key to snap. So I'm gonna go here and snap. There we go. So now that is giving me the proper shape. Do the same thing over here. Let's just grab these faces here. There we go. So again, you grab this vertex, you move it, and with only the green arrow and X or the V, just snap it right there. This one there, and then the upper one, we snap it with the V key right there, and it should match. It should match the point. So now we can grab both of them, merge to center, merge to center, and merge to center, merge to center. Whoa. Merge to center, merge to center, and merge to center. Now we're not gonna use subdivision levels here. Don't worry. So I'm not so worried about that. There. The only thing I wanna make sure is that we don't have any like endguns or stuff. And yeah, everything seems to be working just fine right now. Now, over here is where things are getting tricky. And the reason why this is getting tricky is because it's very thin up here, right? So I know that these faces right here are going to be gone. They're going to be empty. So I'm just going to delete them. And then I know that these faces are also going to be gone, because I want this whole thing to be empty. Now, these two guys, for instance, I'm going to just merge to center. And same deal for these two guys, merge to center. And now we have a completely hollow thing right here that we only need to make sure it's patched up properly. And it should be fairly easy. I'm just going to grab that edge over there and this edge, bridge, this one and this one, bridge. And then from here to the other side, bridge. Now, we can't bridge. Why can't we bridge? Because up here we have 2 lines, right? So this is not actually an actual like line. So I'm actually just going to delete these faces. And it's going to be just easier to grab this edge and bridge. Why is it not letting me bridge? All right, because we have that line right here. Okay, no problem. No, actually that shouldn't be an issue. It should let me bridge. Do we have an extra edge loop over here? Well, let's try this guy right here. So from here to here, let's bridge. Okay, that works. From here to here, let's bridge. And then from this one right here to the low one there, let's bridge. And then from that one right there to this one right here, bridge. So we're gonna be left with triangles, which is fine. Triangles are not our enemies, especially since now we're not gonna be doing subdivisions on this thing. So let's try and... I'm gonna use mesh tools, not create polygon, append to polygon, which is from here to here. It's tricky because it's a very long polygon. Let's see, what else can we do? I mean, this one we should be able to just edit our mesh fill hole. And then this one, same deal. No, see, it's not letting me do it. There we go. Mesh fill hole, and fill hole. There we go. Perfect. So now everything is filled. We have everything connected. Now, I'm not worrying about this area right here. On the concept, I really can't see if they're split or if it's the same thing. I do see a little bit of an arrow, but we're going to be doing that arrow in ZBrush. I'm going to show you a very quick way in which we can do that detail in ZBrush, which I think is going to be a lot better than trying to model it right here. And there we go. I mean, as you can see, we have this very nice base mesh. It is a little bit tricky. I mean, the topology was a little bit tricky to create, but it's now ready. And we can just bring this into ZBrush and start working. Some people might try the following, just like giving it a quick bevel to everything before we go. But the problem is, since the topology is not really helping, it's just not going to work in the way that we're expecting. There's a lot of like weird triangles and stuff, but everything is fine. Like, even if ZBrush tells us that there's an issue, we can very easily fix it. So that's it, guys. I'm going to stop it right here. I'm just going to save this. I'm going to save this as, let's call this old pillar. Or old, let's call this obelisk. It's going to be an obelisk. And yeah, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Let me know if this series is gonna, if this is something you're looking forward to, because I'm really excited to be doing this. We haven't done environment in a while, so or actually never. I think we've done props, a lot of props, but no environment just yet. So hopefully you guys are gonna love this one. We're gonna be working on this in the next couple of days. We might have a couple of extra videos every now and then, interesting topics and stuff. But for now, this is the project. So get working as well. Look for this guy. Again, his name is Ray de Perigo. Look for him in ArtStation and just grab this image plane and start modeling, because this is going to be, or can be, a very good piece for your portfolio as well. So that's it for me, guys. I'll see you back tomorrow. Bye bye. And signing out.